Hello, I'm Emma Hammett from First Aid for Pets. And a couple of weeks ago, I went to Google with one of my team. And Lucy and I were in there. We walked into the amazing Google offices. And one of the first things we saw were the Google dogs. Yes, Google head office has its own dogs. Now, these dogs are not only security dogs, but they are also office dogs that help with the general well-being of the office. So they are, properly trained sniffer dogs as well, but they have far greater benefits than that. And thinking about all the incredible benefits that dogs do have, we then looked at other office dogs and the benefits that we know pets have as well in hospitals. We've written before about how pets are used with children undergoing anaesthetics to just soothe them and calm them and can help them recover quicker from operations too. We've also written in the past about PTSD dogs, and I've been privileged enough to meet a couple of PTSD dogs and their owners. One of them was at Remembrance Sunday last year, where it was one of the first UK dogs, and also in the States I met another PTSD dog in the States, and the incredible difference that they make to their owners or the people that they're helping. So they're able to steer them away from stressful situations. They're able to help them with their medication. If they're having a nightmare, they can wake them. It's all very personal to what they need. I've just been finishing reading the amazing book War Doctor, and one of the things that is mentioned in there is that this particular war doctor who had come back from a really traumatic time in Syria, but he was privileged enough to be invited to a banquet at Buckingham Palace and was sitting next to the Queen, and he was sitting to the Queen's left, and protocol is that the Queen talks to this side first for 30 minutes and will then turn her attention to the left or to the other side. And when she came to talk to David, she said, I've heard that you are a war doctor and you're travelling. Where have you just come from? And he started to tell her that he got back from Syria and realised that actually he was tearing up and he was completely overwhelmed. He had major post-traumatic stress from what he had seen. And the Queen, rather than push it or make him feel awkward, she apparently called one of her courtiers over and got a box of dog biscuits. And the two of them sat at this banquet calmly feeding the corgis under the table with these dog biscuits and stroking them and just gently talking about dogs. And at the end, the Queen turned to him and said, "Looking after dogs is so much better than talking." And that insight and that understanding as to what was needed at that particular time, but also understanding the power of pets to help someone in that circumstance. So PTSD pets are seriously helpful. We've also written about dogs that can help someone if they have seizures. And they can give them that advanced warning. And in fact, a dog has just been awarded a doctorate because they've been at university with someone who had blackouts, and the dog was able to give them sufficient warning that they could live a normal life because they could get themselves to safety when things were going wrong. And the other incredible things that they do, they've got diabetes dogs and all sorts of Addison's crisis dogs and dogs that can help with all sorts of specifics. And then there are also medical detection dogs who can sniff out particular cancers. They can detect Parkinson's or malaria before our medical side can detect that they exist and before anyone has any symptoms whatsoever. So I think we're only just stepping into the realms of how our wonderful, wonderful dogs can help. And in fact, I was also watching last week that they've got horses that they're training. So they've got Shetland ponies that are also being trained as guide pets. Wasn't entirely convinced by that, but I think it depends where you live. as to what is most useful for you. But I think, you know, pets are life-changing for an awful lot of people, and I think that it's a marvellous thing, and we need to appreciate them and understand some more of their potential and really value them. That's Emma Hammett from First Aid for Pets.